Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me here today. In today's video, I will be bringing to you the topic that you can probably see in the title of this video, and that is when the war, I call it war at this point, between Russia and Ukraine will end. I will be also bringing to you an article from TASS about United States military spending and the latest news about the newest budget that was just approved by US Senate, as well as some very wise words from Candace Owens that she said not in the latest video, but 2 live streams ago. That is a great reminder for all of us, and that will be a perfect commentary on the artificial intelligence as well as the digital ID topic as well. And we're gonna end this video with the news from Europe about showers in Europe. What kind of showers? What's the prediction? What future holds? So let's jump straight into it. Let me start with reminding those of you who are new subscribers on my channel. A while back, I had a live stream with someone who lives in Russia. And so let me just show you this live stream. I will attach the link down below in the description box. This is Konstantin. I had an interview with him a while back. Actually, it's much more than a year ago. I would say almost 2 years ago. And we went into questions, and I asked him about the situation in Russia, and it was already after I have visited Russia. But then I have to admit I was not watching his channel for some time, and it looks like it has disappeared. And when it appeared again, a new channel emerged. So I believe Konstantin's channel was removed. Now he has another one with the same name, which is Real Reporter. And I came across a very good interview that he had. Let me show you right here. This is what we are going to focus on today in the beginning. He has an interview in this video with a veteran assault commander who is teaching recruits how to stay alive at the front. So I'm going to play for you first the beginning of this video, which will be like introduction to the topics that will be covered in this, and then I will take you to this part in which this gentleman is answering the question how long the war will go on, so when the war ends. So let's start with the preview, and then we go to the main question.
When could the Russia-Ukraine war actually end?
I would get a settlement in 24 hours.
Best case, by the end of 2027. Worst case, I'd say probably around 2030.
Is there an ideal age for a new recruit going off to war?
The best age for a modern soldier is between 30 and 40.
War is no game.
What's the difference between signing a contract with a volunteer battalion versus the regular army?
In the regular army, they'll pay you $37,000 or higher just for signing.
That's a lot of money.
Exactly.
If I'm just a newbie, some incompetent commander will just throw me straight into an assault, right?
We had a guy in our unit with the call sign, Tatar. He could fix any piece of equipment, no problem. Elbow. But it turned into an abscess, led to sepsis, and that was it for him.
What can you say about the Ukrainians and their level of training?
Back in 2014, Ukrainian troops were, frankly, a complete mess. They were poorly trained, disorganized, all over the place. By 2022, things had changed a lot. They already looked much better trained, much more put together. And by then, they had even developed a distinct group of trained military specialists. You could tell they'd been trained to NATO standards, from the way their units were structured, how they used their vehicles and equipment. It was clear they'd been preparing them carefully this whole time. Now, what changed from 2022 to 2025? The overall quality of Ukrainian infantry has gone down. You can feel that the enemy is losing its well-trained, experienced troops and filling the gaps with forcibly mobilized men. There are a lot of older guys and many of them just don't know how to fight. But the level of Ukrainian specialists has gone even higher. Ukraine is now focusing on drone operators, EW teams, recon, artillerymen. They're training them hard over and over again, building a serious core of professionals.
In your opinion, when could the Russia-Ukraine war actually end?
Best case scenario, end of 2027. Worst case, maybe around 2030. You have to understand, right now Russia is using only the bare minimum of its resources. If the commander-in-chief decided to raise the level of effort even a little bit, even by just 5%, you would immediately start to see the front line shifting. The situation on the map would begin to change very quickly, and the advance of the Russian army would speed up dramatically.
But if that was possible, wouldn't they have already done it? Like, why is Russia still fighting with one hand tied?
To raise the level, you have to prepare everything first. The military academies, the specialists, the equipment, even the civilians. You need to get the training centers running, build infrastructure from scratch, revive design bureaus, develop new weapons. All of that takes time. Real, methodical preparation, step by step. Essentially, Russia is teaching its army how to fight all over again. Not the way it has operated since the end of the Great Patriotic War, but how to actually fight a modern, full-scale war. The United States has been running local wars almost non-stop since World War II ended. We haven't fought on this scale for decades. Our army had forgotten how to fight. Now, we're teaching it again. Right now, in Russia, we're forging the sword and the shield that will let us live without wars for at least the next 50 years. I'm more than sure that in 6 months, maybe a year or two, we'll meet again. But by then, I'll have rank on my shoulders. I won't even be allowed to give interviews. And our training center will likely become part of a military unit, maybe even join the Central Military District.
Well, then thank God we recorded this interview now while you're still allowed to speak.
For now, yes.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Okay, so let me go through a few things here. I want to say, let me just close this for a moment. I want to say that that interview is very, very informative. It's very interesting to listen to, and I recommend you to watch it. So what that man said, he said the earliest will be 2027 in the best case scenario, and in the worst case scenario is 2030. And it looks like there is a reason for it, as well as also the young soldiers, or this age group of Russian soldiers that are the fathers, husbands, the heads of families, right? And also the force for the production and the economy of Russia. It's a driving force. So that's the best age group that actually could be fighting, but you don't really want to sacrifice that group, even though a lot of people have already been dead, as we know. So I really recommend you to check out Konstantin channel and subscribe to that channel, because not only I am very impressed with how he brings the information, he's not biased, he's really trying to be objective, and he is Russian. He is self-taught, so his English, when you see him speaking English, that is, in my opinion, almost perfect, it's self-taught. He learned himself how to speak English and how to edit the videos and all of that. So really recommend you to check it out. Since we are on the topic of that military spending, let me take you to this article from TASS. This is from today. This is October 10th. So today we have 10/10. US Senate approves military spending for 2026 an amount of $900 billion. Guys, $900 billion. I think this is the record spending in the history. The bill extends the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative through 2028 and expense funding for the programs to 500 million. Washington, October 10th, the US Senate, the upper house of the US Congress, approved the country's military spending for fiscal year 2026, which began on October 1st, in the amount of 925 billion, including 500 million, so $500 million, in aid to Ukraine. The bill passed with 77 votes in favor and 20 against. At least 60 votes were needed for the bill to pass. According to materials previously released by the US Senate Armed Services Committee, the bill extends the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative, USI, through 2028 and expands funding for the program to $500 million. The USAI allows the Pentagon to enter into contracts with manufacturers rather than providing equipment and resources directly from US arsenals. So it continues in September. The US House of Representatives, the lower house of the US Congress, passed its own version of the US military spending bill for fiscal year 2026, amounting to nearly $900 billion, including 400 million in aid to Ukraine. So this is the latest as far as the support and the money and the budget and the spending goes. So this 500 million US dollars, is it from taxpayers' money or this is from the tariffs? I'm just wondering here. 2028. So perhaps there is a lot of truth to what that guy was saying, that Russian military person, that in the best case scenario, 2027 is the year to end that. So if this is true, 2028, maybe they have some agreement or something, don't you think? We have to look at things a little bit differently now, because I think at the end of the day, I am coming to this conclusion, as I've mentioned before, that it's a big game and they are playing us as if we are stupid. So we have to see through this. And that takes me to the videos that I have recorded for you lately. Those two videos about digital ID, as well as the artificial intelligence and transhumanism. Why I'm saying this is because ultimately when you hear about those things, the first thing I believe what you feel is fear. And fear is this energy, is this emotion that comes in a very overwhelming way sometimes, and it makes you feel hopeless and desperate and afraid, and you don't know what to do and how to live anymore with this prediction for the future. And when it all comes down to, again, it's either you choose love or you choose fear, right? There are only two energies really, as far as the most powerful is energy of love. Why I'm talking about this now is because that's how they operate. They want us to be afraid, and they want us to be controlled by that fear, to stay within this matrix of reality that they have created for us. And they manipulate everything. They manipulate the weather, the time, your consciousness, energies. So you really have to be clear, and you really have to be centered and connected to God, higher source, higher self, higher being, to be able to go through this. But then when you ask yourself a question, so what if you just die, right? Because ultimately what you're afraid of that if they implement this digital ID and this artificial intelligence takes over, you die, and that's it. This is the end of it. And what I want to share with you now are words from Candace Owens, who I heard yesterday. And this really summarizes the big picture for all of us. It's such a great reminder, what she said, to focus on this, because when you have this in the back of your mind, that this is really temporary experience, I'm not saying we will all die as far as like now. I don't even believe in that. I believe we leave our bodies and we go on. So this is actually all in the topic of war as well. if you think what I'm talking about the ultimate fear that controls the humanity, the fear of death. So let's take a listen to what she said. And those are, in my opinion, very important words and very wise words, as she herself has been lately threatened. You know, she's probably next one on the list to be removed, as is several other people who don't speak the way certain nation, let's put this way, or certain bloodline wants them to speak. So let's take a listen. I hope you pay attention, because this really can help you in the times of despair, uncertainty, and feeling afraid, to refocus, you know, like the pilot, refocus on your path, on your track, and get back your power.
Because they are seriously increasing and being, I would almost say, erratic in their behavior, obsessive, erratic, neurotic, there is a real risk here, right? I do not accept, and neither do you guys, that Charlie Kirk lost his life because he really pissed off the trans lobby. It terrifies me to think that on the day that Charlie died, I got multiple phone calls from people who said that me and Tucker should lay low because we're also on the list. And they never told us who specifically told them that, by the way. Now I'm wondering why they never told us who specifically told them that. I called Tucker. I'm like, are you hearing the same thing I'm hearing? If they're saying that we're next. And now I go, was that supposed to be a threat to me and Tucker? To have us watch the public execution of a friend of ours, and then to call us and to say, you should lay low for a little bit because you guys, we're hearing that you guys are on a list. Was that just supposed to be a threat? Because why wouldn't you be more forthcoming with exactly who you heard that from? And I said, I remember saying, I was like, did the feds say this? Who said this specifically? Because why aren't they calling me and Tucker? Why am I calling Tucker and telling him about this? And I did. He will tell you that. The day that Charlie Kirk was shot, this really happened. And I'm coming out of the grief stage and realizing I think that was an element of this, to send a signal, to shoot him in the throat, right? To say, we took out his voice and we will take yours out too. And that's terrifying and that's real. And these people that we are fighting are dangerous, okay? Do not underestimate them. They are dangerous and they are haughty and they are growing increasingly desperate, and panicked people that are evil in this way are not people that you want to play with, right? People are nervous. Everyone is feeling it. And that's why I decided that I don't know what's going to happen, okay? I don't know how many days I have on this planet. I do know what I'm fighting for. And I do know that this life is not it. It's not. I'm telling you guys, it's not. The people that want you to believe that it is, people that pulled you away from your faith in the first place, as I'm trying to demonstrate to you, did it because they knew they could further enslave you. They want you to be fearful of death. They want you to think it's it. They want you to think it's lights out and then everything is over and that you are not a soul, right? Because then they can get you to do things to guard what you have in this world. Follow their rules, to do things that you know are wrong because you need the money. It indoctrinates you into their matrix.
So that's exactly what we need to be reminded of, that this life is not it. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who is recently feeling it very strongly, that we are in this world, but we are not out of this world. We are not of this world. We are not of this world. And that's how they control you. They control you by you being afraid to come out of it because you think that's it. This is what life is. So important what she just said. Very important reminder. And yeah, she's on the list. There are a few others that are on the list as well, as we know, for just saying their opinion and asking questions and not agreeing with narrative. But that's nothing new for humanity. We've been there before. They burned the witches on the in the middle of the towns and the square, and the public was cheering. That's not new. So maybe before we end this video, I will shift gears quite a lot. We kind of need a little bit cold shower now to calm down as far as the intensity of this topic, because what's taking place in Europe soon, it's another level of disaster. So let me read you this article. I don't think this is a surprise to anyone. This is from Polish portal, and the title of it is "Only Cold Showers in Europe. Hot Water Will Go Down in History." So what is this about? The EU bureaucracy is hitting ordinary citizens again. Due to an oversight in the regulations, up to 90% of boilers and hot water tanks might disappear from the market from 2027. Brussels has not included two metals on the list permitted substances without which enamel tanks simply burst. These are hafnium and zirconium, if I pronounce this correctly, elements used for over 100 years to enamel water tanks. They make sure that the coating does not crack and the water remains hot. Without them, as the manufacturers warn, the glaze crumbles and the water is not hot. The problem is that in the latest EU regulations on drinking water quality boat meals, they were not found at all. The European Commission has focused on consumer protection, but according to the industry, it has overlooked the fact that boilers and storage tanks also store drinking water. According to APLIA, an organization associating manufacturers of household appliances, if hafnium and zirconium are not approved, more than 90% of hot water tanks will not be able to be sold in the EU. This means gigantic losses for companies and higher bills for consumers. So that's what's up, everyone. That is the latest future vision for Europe. And I believe that will be experienced for millions of people. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I want to say one more time how grateful I am for you, my audience. I really, really appreciate all of you guys, all your comments, all your support, all your donations on PayPal, becoming my Patreon supporters. It truly means a lot to me. And if you are interested in following me on Instagram, you also have the link down below. It's AniaK_44. The links to what I was bringing to you today, you will find down below in the description box. And let me know what you think. What do you think? We should not operate out of fear, because that's exactly what they want us to do. So we will observe what's going on. We will make our own decision, but let's not give in to fear. And even if it comes to the moment when we just leave this body this way or the other, this is not the end. Actually, that's when the journey starts. Thank you so much. Lots of love. And remember, we are the leading edge and we are saving humanity. And I see you in another video. Bye, guys.